Alright, it should be live if you want to look for me again.
Yeah, give me 1 second, I'll pull you right up.
And then let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
Alright, do you see my screen that's got the run box on it?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, in that run box, you're going to pull your run box up on your computer. Do you remember how to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Windows key R.
Okay.
And you're going to type CLEANMGR. And then hit enter. Whoop. I must have typed it wrong. Oh, how the fuck? I must be spelling it wrong. I can't remember how to spell it. Now, let me pull up the search. CLE. That's how you do it. Alright, so going back to my Windows thing, you see how I got it typed in there? It says clean MGR.
Okay.
Type it like that and then click OK.
Okay.
And that pulls up what's called this cleanup.
Okay.
And then what you do is you go through here, it'll scan your system real quick, and it will show you stuff you can get that you can clean up, like the thumbnails that are, and then just check all the stuff that you want to clear off.
Okay. I'm going to do that tomorrow, but yeah.
And then down here there's a button that says clean up system files. Click that and it'll take you to another window that'll give you even more shit you can clean up.
Damn, okay.
And then just put a check next to all the shit you want to get rid of and clean up. Like in my case, I'm going to clean up about 24.5 gigs. And then when you click OK, it'll ask you if you want to permanently delete the files. Just click delete files and it'll go through and run the thing. And this can take a few minutes to do. And then after it's done, restart your computer.
Okay. Yeah, what I've done is I went back and I'm recording this too, so.
This is something you probably want to do probably about once every 3 to 6 months.
Oh, absolutely.
Now I'm not sure how long this is going to take for it to finish on mine because mine hasn't been done for a long time.
Well, at least I bet your computer, I bet you run a lot faster now.
It'll help.
Yeah.
So this is the only way you want to clean your hard drive up, is using this tool. You don't want to try just going in there and just start deleting shit, because if you delete the wrong thing, you can really fuck your shit up.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know. I would never do that because it just takes one damn thing to do, and I mean you're toast.
And in
No, I
addition,
would never do that.
another thing you can do to free up space is go into your programs and features and remove any programs that you don't use.
Okay.
But before you do that, check with your wife to find out exactly what shit she's got on there that she uses, so you don't delete something she likes to use by mistake and get your ass chewed out for it.
Right, I hear that.
If you know the federal law, you piss the old woman off, you're in trouble.
Yeah, she'd like to have her computer back. I mean, I bought it for me, but yeah, she since I've been off for workman's comp and all this, man, I've basically took over the computer. Yeah.
Well, go to Walmart and buy her a cheap laptop.
Yeah, I think I might do that.
You can go buy her.
I did surprise her, man. About 10 years ago, I went to oh man, what was the name of that damn store? It's a great big computer store. They sell all kinds of shit. And I cannot think of what it's called now.
Probably Circuit City.
No, it ain't Circuit City. Can't remember what it's called, but anyway, I went up there and I got her a laptop, and sure enough.
Yeah, hell, you can just go to Walmart and pick up a fucking Windows 11 laptop for a couple of $100.
I might have to do that.
Yeah, laptops now are getting to the point where they're cheap enough you can go pick the motherfuckers up for a fraction of what they cost just 5-6 years ago.
Dude, let me tell you. I mean, I kid you not. I mean, it's been a while. I'll put it like that because this company doesn't even exist no more, and it's been like over 10 years. But I bought a TV for over nearly $3,000. Right? It was like a 65 or 70-inch TV. Right?
Yeah.
Shit, dude, the same TV that I bought now for that price is only like $600 or $700.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm thinking I paid nearly $3,000 back in the day for one. Good Lord.
The most scary thing is looking back at what I spent to build my first computer when I first got into computers. My first computer.
And what it is today to build one, good Lord, no.
Oh hell, building them today is cheap.
It's trying to get the parts.
Oh, the parts are easy to get. Shit, when I built this computer that I do my iRacing on, I built it in 2018, and I think I spent about $1,200 to build this one.
So how much would it cost to build one now?
Let's find out. www.pcpartpicker.com. Alright, start my build. Let's find out how much this would fucking cost. Yeah, we'll go with a pretty decent fucking processor. We'll go with 7800X 3D. Actually, we don't need to. We'll save a little bit of money. We'll go with the 9600X Ryzen 5. That's about what I got in mind right now. Actually, I'll build with kind of the equivalent of what I've got now.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what you need to do.
Find me a cheap fucking AIO. 40 millimeter. And how much is the cheapest one? And then the cheapest one's $109 for the fucking radiator and fan. Motherboard. Fucker isn't telling me what I want to see here. That's 870. An Asus motherboard. Memory, we'll go with 16 gigs of RAM. Boy, that stuff has gone up in fucking price. Compared to what I paid for it back then. Storage, will go with an SSD drive. No, I don't need it that fucking big. 1 terabit byte bed plenty. Video card, this is where it's going to get expensive. Oh, you can't even buy the fucking video card anymore that I've got. So it looks like we'll go with the 4070. That's the fucking probably the closest I'm going to get to it. Well, there's a 3050. A 6 gig card. I'd like to get a 3070 if I can find one. But they don't look like they exist anymore. Well, there's a 4070. There's a 3070. But they want a fucking mint for it. But still, this 670 here for $650 is about half of what I paid for the one that I bought for this computer. And the power supply, I want a 1,000-watt power supply. too bad of a price. We'll go with that one. And so how much is this fucker? $1,700 is what this thing would cost me to build now, minus the monitors.
How much?
What's that?
How much?
$1,700.
Damn.
And that's for about the equivalent of what I got. The only thing I don't have included in the price is I don't have monitors. So I didn't select the monitors. But for monitors, add about another $1,000 to that. So for about
hell, man, I gotta figure out what the hell I got with this computer, because the only damn thing I think I got with this computer was just the damn computer. I mean, the PC.
Yeah, that's all mine is just a PC.
Was nearly $2,800.
Yeah, for mine, the one I just built on screen here with you, just for the tower is $1,765.
Damn, and that's what I bought, was just a tower.
The only difference between the one you bought and this one is you'd have to put it together.
Oh, okay.
But if you're if you're relatively mechanically inclined to know how to use a screwdriver and shit like that, how good are you at putting jigsaw puzzles together?
How am I good at what now?
Putting jigsaw puzzles together.
Oh, I'm good.
If you can put a jigsaw puzzle together, you could take these parts for this computer, take them out of it'll take you longer to get them out of the box than it will take you actually build the fucking thing. You could build the fucker in probably 25 to 30 minutes.
Damn, okay, I did not know it was that easy to do.
And then after you get it built, probably another hour and a half to install Windows. And do all the Windows updates and shit.
That's interesting. I did not know it was that simple.
Yeah, hell, building computers fucking doesn't. That's why I fucking did it. That's why I built them for so fucking long and sold them, because I could make a lot of money selling computers at the time. By the time you walked into Best Buy to buy a fucking computer, it was $3,000 to $4,000 just to buy a fucking tower back then. When I was building them and selling them, and I could build one back then for about $1,000.
Damn.
And I would make almost $700 or $800 in profit on the computer just buying it parts and selling them after I put them together. But yeah, you should be able to see on my screen what that fucking computer we just built cost.
I do.
$1,765.36.
Damn.
And it takes
It's
from the time they drop it off at your fucking door until you have it up and running to go.
How much would a case cost?
A case? Oh, it depends on how wild you want to get with one.
Well, I mean, if you was going to do this, how much would a case cost?
Again, it depends on how wild you want to go. They start at $69.
Oh, okay.
40. Actually, you can get the cheapest case is $45.99. The most expensive case is over $1,000.
So right there would be your like almost damn near 27. So what kind would you get if it was you?
The one that I've got, basically what I got with mine is an old one I grabbed out of the dumpster. It was 25 years old when I stole it out of the dumpster. So mine's a used one. Mine's probably the tower I'm running is probably circa 1999. is probably when that case was made. Maybe early 2000.
Damn.
And I think when I bought it, technically I bought it from from a used computer store, and I think I gave them fucking $15 for it
Okay.
because it was an old fucking one. But technically, my sim rig is my computer case
Oh yeah.
because I've actually got the computer itself mounted inside inside the sim rig. Mainly so that I have a place, so I actually can figure out a place to put the fucker.
Damn, I need to. Yeah, I need to make sure I keep this in mind because damn, right there's how I can build one.
And if you need instructions, if you need to learn how to build a computer, the best
Right.
place to learn how to build a computer is to go to this website. Give me just a second here. Go to this fucking YouTube channel and you'll find out every video you ever want to know about how to build a computer. And everything you want to know about computers. So this channel,
That man right there, huh?
yeah, that man right here, he's pretty good. He's been doing this. He's been building computers and doing this shit probably about as long as I have, because he's about my age, I think. He's also got a car channel too, which is pretty cool.
Damn, that's a good one on the shoot.
Yeah, he's got a Camaro that he just did a rear brake conversion on for a '68 Camaro. So he works on cars and computers.
Damn.
So he's just like me. Let's see if I can find one of this PC build computers.
What's up, guys? Jay's 2 Cents here, and I'm talking to the new guy, the guy who just built his first tower and he doesn't know what to do next. So we're going to take the assumption that you guys have built your tower, it turns on and everything, and now you're like, now what do I do? I've got no DVD drive. How the heck do I install Windows? I mean, drivers. I don't know what to do next. Everyone talks about building the tower. Very few people ever talk about the hardest part for some people, which is just figuring out how to get everything up and running. So today we're going to try and cover that topic. And if you are a veteran, maybe you have some useful ways of making what I'm about to show you even more efficient. So watch this video, comment down below with your best tips and tricks, and let's get started. Drop your temperatures and get maximum performance from your processor with Corsair's new A500 air cooler. Intuitive slide and lock.
This guy also does reviews on computer hardware to tell you whether you're going to be getting a good deal on a part or it's a piece of shit.
High static pressure at low volume levels. To learn more about the all-new A500 from Corsair, click the link in the description below.
Yeah.
So there's a couple things you're going to need for this. We're going to need our Windows install media. Now I'm not going to talk to you about how to make that today because believe it or
Like
not,
the first
it's
time
not
I fucking,
enough content
I use
on
YouTube
video.
to fucking not only figure out how to
It's
fix
really,
my
really
fucking
simple. So
car,
just go to Google
how
on
to
another
build my
machine. You'll
fucking
need a laptop or
computers,
something if you don't
but
have
I've used
the
fucking
actual
YouTube to
Windows
figure out how to
installed
make mashed
media.
potatoes
This
for
is so out
dinner.
of date. This would need several hours worth of updates to handle the internet speed. So what we do is we actually install or create new install medias based on the latest versions of Windows. Now it's really simple. If you go to Google, just look up Windows Install Media, you'll find the tool that you can download. It's only a couple of clicks, and then it will be a much more recent version of Windows than if you buy one off of a shelf. So get yourself a USB stick that's got at least 8 gigabytes and then go through the tutorial process. So now that you have your install media, we're gonna go ahead and stick it into our system, and we are assuming now that this is a completely fresh install. You're not taking any hard drives from another system that have a Windows install on them. If you are, then you're going to want to unplug it from your drive before we move forward. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, basically
We're going
this
to boot up our
is
system. We're
all
going to
you
get into
do.
our BIOS. So to get
This
into BIOS,
basically is
you're just
after you
gonna
get it put
mash your
together.
key.
Basically, all you got to do when you put the fucker
On
together
this particular
is
BIOS,
basically
we
take
scroll
the
down to
parts
the bottom right
and
here, we get
basically
easy mode.
assemble them inside
We
the
click
case.
on that. This is kind of a dashboard, a snapshot of everything happening
Hardest part you
inside of
got to
our
do,
system
and if
right
you can
here.
put a jigsaw
So if you
puzzle
look, there's our
together,
3800X,
you can build a
8
computer.
core. Here are both of our memory sticks. We want to make sure they're all showing up. They are, and they are running at their base clock. We're not going to overclock that yet. We're not going to enable DOCP or any of the XMP profiles or any of that sort of stuff because we want our system to be as stable as possible.
And one thing about
during
computers,
install. We can go
what's
and
that?
all that stuff later to get our maximum
What's
average
that?
speeds. So just read everything out of the box. Don't play with the overclock buttons. Don't play with the fan curves.
What's
nothing.
even cooler is
Just
when you
let it
start
go.
playing with computers,
Elsa.
they're just like cars. You can hot rod
The other thing we're looking
computers just
for
like
here
you
is to
do a
make sure that
car.
all of our drives are showing up.
Really?
So you can see we have one drive
You
showing
know,
up under
remember
SATA.
when you said something
This
about
particular system has
overclocking?
one SATA drive and one
Yeah.
NVMe.
That's where you
So
tell
if you
the,
don't see
that's
both
where
of
the
drives
computer
there,
is
but
tricked
using
into
an
thinking
NVMe,
it's
don't freak
faster
out.
than
That
it
usually
actually
shows up
is.
in a different place. We can also see that we've got our Corsair Voyager Mini 3.0.
Because the computers might be rated for X number of gigahertz on the side of the box,
Windows install media.
but that's just a setting.
That is what
It
we are gonna
really
be
has no
actually
idea how
installing too.
fast it actually is for sure.
Or
That
from,
number on the
correct.
box is
We're
the
installing
fastest
to
it
this
can run
system from
and still
this.
pass the
The other
fucking
thing we wanna
quality
make sure, though,
assurance
is that
test at
our
the factory.
actual,
But if you're willing to
NVMe
push the
drive
fucking
is showing
envelope,
up.
sometimes you
And
can
then
get them to
do
run
that
faster
in this
than that.
particular BIOS, it's kind of weird. We gotta go back to
That's
standard
called
mode.
overclocking.
Over to
It's just like hot
peripherals.
rodding on a car.
Down to
It is
NVMe.
dangerous on a computer
And there
because
it is
if
right
you
there, 779
get too greedy, you can
Evo
blow the
Bus
computer up
1.5. So what we're gonna do now, just
or
because
burn it up.
we know that they are all showing
And I have
up,
done that in the
is
past.
we are going to
Because the computer is the first computer I ever built
power
back in
going
clear
to
back
our
in the
SATA
late
drive.
90s.
And this is okay to
At
do
the
while
time
this
I built it,
drive
it
is
was
active
faster
in
than anything you
BIOS.
could buy off
Sorry
the
for a lot of
shelf.
people out right there, but that's okay. It still shows because it saw it when it initialized, but we don't want that.
Back
We
then, the
want to
fastest
go into
computer
a
you could
boot
buy was a
override.
Pentium 3 1000
And this, again,
megahertz
is gonna be
machine.
dependent completely
This was
on
1999.
your particular motherboard.
And the first
We're
computer
telling
I
our
built
BIOS,
was
boot to
running
this.
at
If this isn't
1066
bootable,
megahertz, so
then go to
66
this.
megahertz
And
faster
that's
than
the drive
anything
we
you
just
could buy off the
unplugged.
shelf
We
at the
want it.
time.
And the
Because
reason
I
why we're doing that
overclocked it.
is this just gives us the
Wow.
best opportunity to have a nice, clean,
And I
fresh
never had
install
any
on the
problems with
drive
that
we
PC.
want to be installed on. Sometimes the drives are
It ran
kind
for
of difficult to
fucking
distinguish
several years
in
until
the
I
actual
eventually
Windows
outgrew
install
it.
tool, and we'll show you that. Where if the only drive we have connected at that point is the one we want to install to, then we know we're not going to accidentally format and override on a backup hard drive. Maybe you took a hard drive out of another system that has all your game files and stuff on it, pictures. If that's plugged in and you accidentally install to it, guess what? It wipes it, and then you lose all that data. Technically, you lose all that data. It's easier to get back if you're a more advanced user, but that's obviously
Yep,
the
this
point today's video.
basically he's going through all
So
the
with
shit
that,
you
we're
got to
gonna go
do
ahead
after you
and
get the
just
computer put together.
F10
The actual
save
assembly part's
configuration exit.
fairly
It's going to
easy.
restart to our Windows Media. I know a lot of people are like, but where's the DVD drive? I like DVDs. I'm more comfortable with DVD. Trust me, this is much, much faster than a spinning drive or a spinning optical ever was in terms of install speeds. The days of waiting an hour for all your files to copy are long gone. So what you're going to do now is you're just going to click Next, Install Now. This is where you put in your key. I'm not going to show you guys my key. You need to use your own key.
Why not?
However you got
I
that
like
key,
I like
it's up to
bootlegging
you.
shit.
I don't particularly care.
Absolutely.
So once you put in your
I
install
have
key,
yet to
this
ever
is the
pay
next
for a
screen you
copy
get.
of
You gotta
Windows.
accept the terms and license, blah blah blah. So we're not upgrading. We are doing a custom install, which is funny. That should
I
say
have never
install.
paid for a
It says
copy of
custom
Windows
install,
ever.
Windows only advanced. So now you can see only the drive we want is showing. If you had 3 or 4 drives and you didn't unplug all of them, you would have more than one showing right there. So because this is the drive I want to install to, this is the NVMe, and you can see now why we unplug our drive, because it's not labeled, it doesn't show a name, it just says drive 0, unallocated space. And it would be drive 1, drive 2, drive 3, and if there were any partitions, you would see drive 0, partition 1, drive 0, partition 2, drive 0. So it can get confusing to someone that's not used to dealing with partitions and multiple drives. So since that's the only drive showing up, We
The
can
way
click
he's doing
next.
this on
If
here
this
right
was
now is
existing, it had
basically
existing data
the,
that you just want wiped.
the
you can
generic way
click
to
from
install
another
Windows.
drive.
There's other ways
And
to
what
do
you
it
could
that
do
are
if you have
faster
multiple
and
partitions
more
is you would click
efficient.
each partition and hit delete, and then you can hit format if you needed to, if it had data on there. Otherwise, since this is a clean drive, we're just going to
And
go
like
ahead
the
and
way I
next.
install Windows on
Now
a
that it's
computer,
getting
I do it
filed
the way
with
that
installation,
like
this is the part
businesses
that's
would do
super
it,
fast now
or like
because
the
of Windows.
manufacturer of a
Now, here's the
computer,
other
like
thing, too. There's a
Dell
neat
or
little trick.
Gateway or
People will tell
whoever
you
the
can't install
name
Windows
brand
anymore
compute
in
like
an offline
Lenovo,
account. That's
IBM,
stupid.
and
You need
shit
a
like
Windows
that.
account.
The people who
The
build
way you do it
computers,
is you don't have the internet
the
connected
the
at the time
major
of
name
install.
brand
So if you were to
computers,
plug
I
in
install
right now
Windows the way
your
they
Ethernet
do.
cable, it
I
would
install Windows
automatically
over a network.
go online and say, hey, we're connected. You need a Windows account to move forward, which is something that we hate around here. We do not want to force ourselves into needing online Windows accounts.
I don't
So by
like
having no
using
internet
Windows accounts
connected,
either. I like.
then
I have.
it makes it
In fact, I don't even
where
use
we can
Windows
actually
accounts
create
because I
just
have
a
everything on
standard
mine set up on
Windows user
what's
account
known as a
that's not
Windows
connected to Microsoft.
NT domain.
So it just restarted on its own. One of two things are going to happen. It's either going to restart the Windows installation, depending on whether or not the BIOS is smart enough to recognize, hey, there's an OS on this hard drive now, let's move forward on that. If it brings up the screen again where it's like, accept the EULA to move forward, blah, 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 then what you would do is you would unplug the drive and restart the system. All right, so now that I see that we're at this screen, we are booted off of the hard drive or the SSD that we've installed, and we can take the install media and throw that aside. Now we're in the UK, so we're gonna go ahead and do the United Kingdom.
United Kingdom of America.
All right, so obviously choose your region here. We are not connected to the internet, so we're gonna say, I don't have the internet, at which point Microsoft's probably going, that's kind of weird. So what we're gonna not do is connect now, because now it's gonna do everything it can to say, hey, plug in your cable, please. We won't spy on you, I swear. We won't force you to go online to use Windows, we promise. Liars. So we're gonna continue with limited
Yeah, no
setup.
shit.
Don't let that fool you. What that means is it's not gonna automatically install the garbage you don't want anymore.
Yeah, Windows 11, they're getting to the point
who's
now
gonna
where
use
you
this
have to
PC?
have an internet
The
connection to use
internet.
Windows.
Is gonna use this PC.
You guys.
Password 1. 1. Boop.
It's
Free
a
security
lot
question.
less
What was
secure
your
than my
first pet's
password
name?
of PASS123.
What's the name of the city where you were born? Mars. What's your childhood nickname? Fatty. All right, do more across devices. No, I do not want it to automatically sync my devices because last time I did that, it wiped one of my other devices because
Oh,
Windows
yeah.
is so freaking smart. Phil remembers that. Jay was not a happy Jay that day. So no, we are not going to sync. Get help from a digital assistant. We're going to give that a big eh. Now this is all the spyware that Windows wants to automatically install, and they want your permission to do it. So we're going to give them the big
Yeah, exactly. Fuck Microsoft.
It's kind of finishing its install in the background. It's getting a bunch of things ready for you.
The
Whatever
only
that
reason I
means. We're
keep
not connected
Windows
to
is
the
because I
internet.
need
Now
iRacing.
here's the thing.
I need it to run
Most of the
iRacing.
drivers and stuff you need for your system to operate properly will work with just the basic drivers that Windows has pre-configured inside of it. It knows this is an AMD system. It's going to automatically install just the basic AMD chipset drivers. The Ethernets in most of these now are usually one of 3 different types: Intel, Realtek, I don't remember what the third one is, but there's basic drivers to make all this stuff work out of the box. Same thing with your video drivers. It's going to install a basic VGA driver. It might install an old, out-of-date NVIDIA driver if you connect it to the internet. And then it will install the DCH driver, which we don't particularly like around here, so we're going to just let it do its thing, get us to the desktop, and we'll show you what
And
to
that's
do.
why I had you
So now we're
download
at the
and
Windows
install your
desktop
Windows.
for the very first time. You
your
can see our
driver
audio
for your
driver. It's like,
video
hey,
card
you don't have an audio
manually.
driver. What the heck? And it's funny, if you click on that, it's trying to detect problems, but Windows
make
is
sure you
actually
had the
stupid
most
enough to where it's like,
up-to-date driver.
oh look, which of these drivers do you want to troubleshoot? None of them, because
Yeah,
we will
I've got
handle all of that
video
in a
and
moment.
then
Now,
make
obviously, we have that
sure
drive that we
everybody
disconnected.
can
So what we're going to do right now is, because, believe it or not, SATA is hot swappable, I'm going to just plug that SATA back in with
And you
Windows
generally
running.
want to do that Windows
may or may
update
not
or the
automatically
driver update for your video
Protect the
card.
drive. Our drive is not even
Whenever
it's not showing up, and this is the part that
iRacing
takes a lot of
releases
people
a new
out. Because
season.
it's a brand new drive with no partition or no format type on
So
there.
about every 12
What we're going to do
weeks.
right here is we are going to click the little
Yeah,
Windows
like I said, I
start
need
button
to-
on the very bottom left.
I need to
We're
make
not
sure I
connected to the
can
internet yet.
remember
That's
how to
perfectly
do
fine.
that.
We're going to type in
Yeah,
disk
I need to do a separate
management.
video
When it starts to show up,
when I
create
start
and
doing
format
these
hard
so I
disk
can
partition.
keep up with all this
Click on this
shit.
guy.
And then what he's doing now,
And
where
it
he's
detected our drive now. See,
going to
this
go
is
through
the
and do
part that
driver
makes me just
installations, where he
so
installs
upset
what's known
with
as the
Microsoft, is that
chipset
it
drivers.
knows
and your
this,
audio drivers
why
and shit
couldn't
like
it
that,
just suddenly
those you should
do this
update and manually
on its own?
download
Why
for
couldn't
those
it
from the
automatically be like,
manufacturer
new
of your
drive detected,
computer.
let's set it up. No,
Do
you gotta
those
go
at
looking
least
for disk
once
manager.
a year.
So GPT should already be selected if it's not selected, disk 0. That's fine. So you see
How
that
do
this
I
is
find
black.
these
That
drivers
means right
so I
now
can
it is
go
a
directly to the
non-usable
site?
drive. So here are the partitions that
You
set
have
up
to
when
know who
install
made your
Windows.
motherboard.
It's got the EFI system with its own 100 megabyte partition.
Okay.
Which company
the
made
rest
it.
of the
I
boot
can
drive
do
right
that.
here.
As
Here's
soon
our
as you
recovery
find
drive.
out what company made your
That's all normal.
motherboard,
So what
you
you're
can
gonna
just
do
go
is
to
you
their
right click,
website, and there
use
should be a
symbol
spot
on.
where you can download the drivers. You may
Next.
have to tell them what
This
model
is
of,
where you can actually
of
set the
motherboard
volume
you
size.
have.
We're not going to worry about
So
the
not only
speed
you gotta
of
find out who made the
drives.
who made the motherboard, you gotta
Next.
find out what model
Make
it
sure it has a
is.
drive letter, because this is the part
Okay,
where
I can do
sometimes it
that.
won't do a drive letter. But just
And
make
there's
sure it has a
software
drive
that
letter.
you can
Hit
download
next.
off the internet that
You
will
can
tell you
name
that
the drive
shit.
here if you want. So we'll call it GAMS X. File system.
One program I used to do that
fine.
to find out
And then
if it's a
allocation units
computer
are
I don't know
default.
anything about.
All that's fine. And it will automatically
For
perform
instance,
a
it's
quick
something I
format.
didn't
So
build,
if we hit next and finish,
and I have no idea
Now
what
our
it's got
drive
for
will
parts
show
in
up.
it.
And there it
I'll
is.
use a program called
right
Malark
there.
Advisor.
So that's a really common problem people have. Like, where aren't my drives showing up? There they are.
That'll tell you
It
everything
has
you
the
wanna
name
know
right there.
about
If you don't
what's
like
in
the
the
name,
computer.
you can always go in here and just rename it and be like,
Hey, send me a message on
right?
that right there.
Now what we're going to do
Malark
is
Advisor?
we're going to go ahead
Yeah.
and
Yep, I'll-
connect this
I'll have
guy
to do
the
that,
internet
or just remind me
And
to
this is
send
the
it
part
again at another time if I
where the
forget.
gauntlet starts.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is as soon as I plug this in, a couple things are going to happen. One, it's going to go, oh my God, you're not activated. It's also going to then start trying to install the drivers that are missing, like the audio driver that you saw. It's going to automatically install a video driver. The video driver that it's going to install is going to more than likely be out of date. Another way that you can also sort of expedite this is click the little Windows Start key, the search again, look up update. So as you can see, we had a lot of updates.
The very
that was
first
missing
boot
here.
of
Some
Windows I do
security
on a new
driver
computer
stuff.
that I
It's
just
seen
built,
that we need to install
or
chipset
just after I
drivers,
get done
AMD,
doing a
there's
clean install of
1903
Windows on the
updates,
computer, I boot
malicious
into what's
software
known as
tool,
out-of-box
framework driver. So
experience.
just let all of this go. It's like I said, it's going to probably download some out-of-date stuff, specifically the video card driver. But once this is all done and it goes through its restarts,
Basically, it's
then
a
we'll talk about what to
basic
do
bare
next.
bones
Now,
version
it's
of
important, in my
Windows
opinion,
that allows me to
these
install the
updates
drivers and
before
install the
drivers.
software and
The
everything
reason for that is
without
depending on the version
anything
of Windows that
interfering
you're
with
on,
it. Or
some drivers
anything
require
else.
certain versions of Windows to
Okay.
unlock all of its features. AMD Ryzen, for instance, requires a certain version of Windows and newer to get a lot of the Ryzen CPU C-state and performance activity and the performance settings and
And there's a
all
lot
that
of
to be
fucking
active
shit that
in the
I used to
driver
be able
or
because
in the
when I
operating
used to build
system.
computers,
Same
I used
thing
to do
with
it
the,
exactly the same way the
NVIDIA,
OEM
graphics card,
manufacturers
40
did
RTX
it.
graphics
I did
card,
it
in
over
this case it's
network,
2080 Super.
and then I would put the
You
system
need a
into
certain
what's
version of
known
Windows,
as
any certain
administrative
driver
mode,
version
where I can,
that you
which
can't
is
get
a
unless
special
you're on the right
version of
version of
Windows
Windows
under a
to
special
enable
account,
RTX
which
features.
allows
We
you
dealt
to
with that
make
with
changes to the
Battlefield 5.
computer
We're like,
that
why are we
only
not
the
getting DXR
manufacturer
option to show up?
generally
Well,
would
it's 'cause
make.
we were on too old of a version of Windows that was required to get the latest driver that had it all enabled. Now you're going to notice there's going to be several restarts during this process. Some of these need to happen in certain orders for them to finish the install. So what will happen is
Yep.
it'll restart and then it will go back to the next portion of the install. And a lot of this will happen in the background without you even knowing it. So that's why I like to tell people to go here automatically and visually look at it to see what's happening. Because you might be doing things in the background and you're like, what is happening? My system wants to restart, or this isn't working. And well, it's because this is all happening in the background. So the very first thing you should do, quite honestly, is your updates. Oh, see the driver, the Windows video driver, went to 40 minutes. So if we look here, we are on version 432.00. But if we go to NVIDIA's website, you'll see the latest driver is actually 442.19. Yeah, 432.00 isn't even on the most recent driver, like as far back as November of 2019. So we'll go ahead and download the latest driver as well.
Yep, that's why you want to
Download
download
this.
the latest drivers, because what
Save
Windows
it, and we'll
Update gives
install
you
that
is
ourselves
automatically
after
out
the
of
fact.
date just to remove them
So
by
now that it's
default.
kind of finished installing the framework for the 1903 update,
Yeah,
it wants to restart now. Now you can schedule the restart for later if you're still installing like a game or something you're trying to multitask. But it gives us the option to manually restart it, which we're going to have to do now. And then those other ones that said pending install or restart, they should all automatically install, and then the list will update with whatever
And that's
updates you
scary.
have.
That's
So you
true.
want to work your way through the list until at the end it says.
Because fucking
We're
drivers
up to
have
date.
bugs up
Once
the
it says
ass
that,
usually
then we
because
can move on to
they're
some
rushed
other
out
stuff,
quickly
a little bit more
to get them
speed.
out onto the fucking market,
and just some general
and
things
they
to
don't
expect.
necessarily always work
So I
right.
went ahead
Or
and
if
did
you
the
got
optional
games and
update,
shit like iRacing, when they
for
do a
the
season
main
update,
1903.
they add
So
new
the
features
main
that the
updates are
driver may
optional
not know
because of
how
their
to deal
size.
with.
We decided we want to go ahead and get this system
And they have to do an
So with
updated
that
driver
came other
to
smaller
take
updates that went along with it.
advantage of those new
So once
features
they're all
that
done,
iRacing and
then
other
it will
games are
say
doing.
You're up to date. All right, so it only took about 20 minutes or so. We are fully up to date now. We're lucky because we have fast gigabit Ethernet here. This obviously will depend on your internet speed. So we're fully up to date. So remember that driver that we downloaded
But
from
for now, you don't
Nvidia?
have to worry
We're gonna
about
go
it
ahead
until
and
at least,
double-click that, and we are going to run the
I would
install
start
for
getting
442.19.
planning to do your next
Now, one of the things
driver
we're gonna do when we
update for
install
your
this is we're
computer
gonna do a
probably
command
around week
we want it
10
to
or week
install
11
the differences
of
over
this
top
season.
of the old driver. We just wanted to completely remove the old driver and install a new one from scratch. A lot of weird computer issues can happen from installers installing on top of old versions over and over and over.
And that's
again
what I
as
had
time
you
goes
do
on.
when you did your
So one
video
of the best
drivers. I had
practices
you
that I always
do a
is
clean
keep things
install of
as
the
fresh as
driver.
possible.
Remember that?
Fresh, just so
Oh, I
fresh,
did.
bro.
Like I said, I gotta go back and try to find that.
It also
video
will default to
and-
wanting to install the driver in GeForce Experience. I don't personally use GeForce Experience, so I install just the driver. Agreed. Continue. Custom.
And this is exactly
Next,
what you
this is
did
where
when you
can
were
then
doing it
click
with me over the
clean install. You can
phone.
see all the
What he's
defaults
showing you on the
selected.
screen right
It
now.
unselects GeForce Experience. That's the only difference between the other click and or the other radio button and that and the one we chose. Perform clean installation. Hit next. Now it might do a restart during this. Sometimes with a clean install, it'll restart the system. Sometimes it won't. All right, now you want to get the most speed out of your NVIDIA graphics card. Here's what we're going to do. Click on Manage 3D Settings.
Yep.
On the right, you're going to come down here to where it says, we have a G-Sync panel, so that's automatic. Power management mode, optimal power. We're going to set that to prefer maximum performance. Now I do this, which is what's going to make the GPU not idle down all the way. It will introduce a little bit more heat to your GPU, but this is what gives us better scores in our benchmarks and stuff. Most people won't notice this, but this is what I do. And then the other thing we do is we come down here to
I didn't have you do a lot
texture
of this
filtering
stuff here
quality,
because
and
for
I set that
iRacing it's
to
not really
high
necessary.
performance. I've never noticed a difference between the texture quality between the two, but I have noticed a performance
And a lot of the
difference
stuff that
in
he's
terms of
doing in
how
the
much faster the
in this
graphics
fucking
card
video
is.
here,
So since
iRacing
everyone's
already
not
handles
using
for
NVIDIA
you.
graphics card, some people are using AMD, and the control panels are different. I'll show you how to set your maximum refresh rate. If you're using a panel that's higher than 60 FPS, or even if you are using 60 FPS panel, it might say 59. I'll show you how to set your max refresh rate. So on the desktop, anywhere, just right-click, go to Display Settings, go right down here to Advanced Display Settings. And you can see here your resolution and your scaling and all that. So make sure this is set to your max resolution of your panel. Go to Advanced Display Settings. Display Adapter Properties for Display 1, it's at the bottom. Then click Monitor. Now you can see we're set to 59 hertz, like I just said, but this panel is capable of 144. So we're gonna go ahead and click that, hit apply, it's gonna restart the panel, keep changes, and
That
now
that
everything
setting you got to be very careful
you
with.
can't see on this video because you're only
If
seeing
you get that number
FPS,
too high,
but
your
we
screen will go
now
black
have
and not come
144
back.
hertz. And we are gonna do Shift
Damn.
Restart. This is going to bring us up to
Because if you run that
our
number
restart
higher than
menu,
what
which
your
will allow us
monitor is
tell the
designed to
system
run,
reboot
it's
right into
considered
the
overclocking.
UEFI
You can
BIOS.
push the monitor
So
out of
instead of having to
spec
sit there and
and can
mash
make it
delete,
crash.
you can just say troubleshoot, advanced options, UEFI firmware settings, and then restart. So what that says is just go to the BIOS of your motherboard. Without having to push anything, it'll take us there. All right, so we're not going to talk about overclocking because that's very CPU dependent, motherboard dependent, too many factors. But what I am going to show you is how to get the maximum speed of the memory that you paid for. So if we look over here in the BIOS, you can see
This
our
you
memory's
gotta be
running at
careful doing this too, 'cause this can be
2139.47.
dangerous.
It's technically 2133. But we want to get the speed that we paid for. Now that's the base rate of the memory at which it's running, the base clock. So if we come over here to
And I've had this
system,
fuck up on me doing this on my own system a few times,
Advanced memory
especially if you buy cheaper
this is where
memory.
we can actually come in
So
here
you gotta
and
be very
change
careful with
profile.
this
Now you see
fucking
extreme
setting.
memory profile XMP is disabled. That's going to be called two different things. XMP, it refers to extreme memory performance. That is specific to Intel, but it just basically says that the advertised speeds of the DIMMs are what that setting is going to set them to. You might also see DOCP, which is memory that's specific to AMD. What I've found though is that XMP still works on AMD without any sort of problems. So if you go into your BIOS, you just enable You can see now it sets it to 3200 megahertz. That's what it was at. Well, that's what this was, and not 34.
I've had that.
So we were
I've
at
done that on my
2133.
computer when I first
It's now
built
going
it
to go to 32.
and set it to that and
So
had the
just
fucker not
F10,
boot before.
save and exit, or whatever your particular BIOS is set to. Now our memory is going to run.
So
quite
that you gotta be
a bit.
very
With
careful
Ryzen,
with.
It definitely makes a difference
Okay.
on compute tasks.
And if it does get to the point where it does fuck up after changing
So
it,
that now gets us our
you
memory
usually
speed
you'll have
back up
usually
to
you have to try to
That's a
restart the
step a lot
computer,
of
which
people
all I need to
forget
do
or
is
don't
pull
even
the
know
power
about.
cord
They
out
just
of the
think, "Oh, I
back,
bought this 3400 stick of RAM and I stuck
push
it in
the
and
hard
that's where it's
push
running
the
at," but it's
power
not,
button
unless you
in,
go and actually
hold it
set
for about 10 seconds,
But we don't
plug
do
the
any of
power
that.
cord back in, start the
Because in
computer up,
rare
and then it
instances,
should default back down to
sometimes
default
the memory
settings,
will- at
and then
that
you have to go in and
speed
set
with
the
a particular
memory
CPU setup,
manually
will
at a
start
lower
giving you blue screen crashes
at a
and stuff.
lower
And that's the
speed
last thing we
than
wanna
what you
deal
had
with
it at,
when we're doing Windows updates and driver installs. Is a
and then
random
work
blue
up
screen
until it
crash in the
crashes, and
middle of
then you go
that
back
opens
step
up
a little,
whole
just
new
like building a
can of
setup
worms
for a
when we
race
do it. So
car.
we don't do
You
any
go up as high as
overclocking.
you
That is
can
technically
until it
an
crashes,
overclock.
and then you
We
start
don't do
backing
any
it
of
off
that
until it doesn't
we're
crash
satisfied
anymore.
that our system is installed and up and running. Now the last thing I would do at this point, I'm not even going to show you because it's very specific to your particular motherboard, is go to the manufacturer website for your motherboard
This is something
and
you
download
should
the
do for
latest
yours.
drivers for all of the feature sets. So the chipset drivers, the Ethernet driver, there's a sound card, the sound card driver, and if you've got RGB like an Asus motherboard, MSI or whatever, and you want to control that RGB or that lighting, then you would download whatever the respective software is for that.
Because this
Aura,
is something you've
Mystic
probably
Light,
never ever done.
If you're using NZXT, CAM,
If your
and all that
video
sort of
card
stuff.
driver
So there
wasn't
you have it.
updated,
Kind of a longer
that's
video,
what he's
but
talking about right
sort of a
here
little
is
bit of a
something you will
hand-holding,
need to
showing you
do.
how to go from a completely built tower with no operating system to getting the OS installed on the correct drive, how to get drives to show up that aren't showing up, how to get them formatted, how to get your Windows updates installed, how to get your drivers updated, and then how to get your memory speed up to the speeds that you actually paid for. There's a couple other utilities that you could download if you guys want to have some fun. That's things like MSI Afterburner, which works with both AMD and NVIDIA graphics cards, where you can play with fan profiles and a little bit of overclocking safely. You're not going to brick your system or brick your graphics card through overclocking through MSI. They all have safeguards which won't let them go too far. But other than that, that is pretty much all there is to it. So tell me what you guys think about this particular video. If you have any tips and tricks that maybe we didn't cover or touch upon that you think would make it easier for new installers or new builders to get their systems up and running, then comment down below your best tips and tricks for getting your brand new system up and running. Thanks
Rule
for watching,
number
guys.
one,
If you have any other
be
suggestions for
careful
tutorials like
of
this that you'd like to
ESD.
see, make sure you comment down in the comments below, and we'll do what we can to try to
Okay.
accommodate. Thanks for watching, and we'll
What
see you
that
in the
is, what ESD stands for is electrostatic discharge. And that's where you walk across the fucking carpet of the fucking floor and you touch something metal and it knocks you on your butt damn near.
Oh yeah.
Now, a thing to remember about that, when you walk across the carpet and you touch a metal doorknob, if you can feel the spark, if you can feel it, that's at least 5,000 volts.
Damn.
If you can see it, it's at least 20,000 volts. If you can see it and hear it, it's 60,000 plus. Now the thing about these computers and most of the parts inside the computer can be destroyed with less than 100 volts of power. And if you hit it with an electrostatic discharge from your body at 30,000 volts, you can imagine how long the part's going to fucking survive. So anytime you work on the inside of a computer, before you touch anything inside the computer, touch an unpainted metal part of the case with the power cord plugged into the wall.
Okay.
That will ground you so that you don't fry anything inside the computer. The only caveat to that is if you have to fucking work on the inside of the power supply. When you're inside the computer itself working, and you're not working inside the power supply itself, you actually want to be physically connected to the case of the computer using what's called a grounding strap brace or a grounding wrist strap. And what it has is a little alligator clip on it. It goes to a little fucking Velcro thing that wraps around your wrist and has a little snap on it that you attach a wire to that has an alligator clip that you attach to a metal part of your case to keep you grounded while you're working on the computer. But if you're working on the power supply itself, cleaning it or whatever you're doing to the power supply, even if the power supply is unplugged, you do not ground yourself when you're working on a power supply, because even when it's not plugged into the wall, the power supply can kill you.
Damn.
because of big capacitors inside the power supply, even when it's unplugged from the wall, are carrying line voltage until they're
Right.
discharged. So you never touch anything inside of a power supply unless you know exactly what you're touching. And I used to scare the shit out of my ex-girlfriend with power supplies when I'd work on them here at home, because I would discharge the capacitors using a screwdriver, and it would make a loud pop when they did it. And she'd come out there, "What the fuck are you doing?" I says, "Discharging these fucking capacitors so they don't kill me."
I hear that.
But otherwise, if you're working on the inside of a computer, like if you're installing a new sound card or installing memory or installing a new video card or even putting the computer together, you want to be grounded to the case of the PC while the power supply is attached to the case and the power supply is plugged into the wall. Because as long as that power supply is plugged into the wall and your outlet is grounded and you're attached to the case of the computer, you're grounded.
Right.
And that'll keep electrostatic discharge from forming in your body and killing your computer parts.
I understand that.
The other thing to remember when building a computer is when you're probably the hardest part to put into a computer is probably the motherboard. And you gotta be very careful when you're putting the fucking motherboard in the computer to make sure that the board itself isn't shorted out to any of the metal standoffs that stick up off the floor of the computer tower that your motherboard screws to. You want to make sure that those are only touching where the board's actually designed to be at, where the screws are supposed to go that hold it to the inside of the case. Because if you don't have that board put in there just right, you could short the board out and then it may not power up.
Okay.
But usually if you short the board out like that, it usually won't hurt nothing. It just won't turn on until you fix whatever's shorting it out. Another thing that's always a wise idea to do when building a new computer, the very first time I power a computer motherboard on for the first time, I do it outside of the case.
And the reason?
I do it is what's called a post test or power on self test. And what I'll do is I'll take the board out of the box that it comes in, and I'll set the board on top of the box. I'll put my memory in place. I'll put the processor and the cooling fan on it, or a cooling system on it, and then I'll hook the power supply up to the motherboard, attach a monitor in my keyboard, and then I'll power the motherboard up using a screwdriver to short out the power terminal, which turns the motherboard on. Same thing as you do when you hit the power button on the computer when it's plugged into the board. That turns the thing on, and what I'm doing is making sure that the board itself powers up and that I get something on the screen. So what I'm doing is I'm checking for a dead motherboard, dead processor, or bad memory. And on most motherboards, the first thing you'll notice when you first turn it on, you might hear a single beep. That's what you're listening for, is a single beep. One beep means everything's okay, but if you turn it on, it goes beep, 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 beep. It does like 3 or 4 rapid beeps, or it just beeps over and over where it goes beep, 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 beep. That's a problem. It means something is really not happy.
Oh, absolutely.
And those beeps are error codes. And what you do is you count the number of beeps and how fast they are. If it's 2 short beeps, which is beep beep, or 1 long and 2 short, beep beep beep, or 1 long and 3 short, beep 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 beep, that's usually a video card problem. Either A, the card itself is bad, or B, it's not installed properly. So when you first turn it on, you listen for the beep, you listen for the 1 beep. If you get 1 beep, you should see the monitor come on almost as soon as you hear that first beep. No more than a couple of seconds. But at the same time, also be aware that not all computer motherboards beep when they're first turned on. Some do, but some don't.
Okay.
And the motherboard manual will usually tell you if they are supposed to beep or not, and what the beep codes are if you hear more than 1 beep. And also on a lot of motherboards, you'll have a little speaker that will come with the motherboard or with the case, and it'll be a small little like micro speaker that's probably about the size of a condenser mic out of an old tape recorder. They're probably about a half an inch diameter, and they have wires that are about 3 or 4 inches long attached to them. They're usually red and black, and they have a little black connector on the end of it that plugs into a connector on the motherboard marked speaker. That's what actually beeps when you turn the computer on. If you don't hear a beep, either A, that speaker's not plugged in, or that motherboard is designed not to beep. So that speaker has to be plugged in order to hear the beep.
Learn something new every day.
But as long as you hear it beep and you see the monitor come on, at that point then I'll power the system down and I'll mount the motherboard into the case, securing it with the screws, being careful not to over tighten the screws because you don't want to get them too tight, but you want to make sure they're tight enough that they're not going to come loose and that the board ain't going to fall out of position. And also when you're putting the board in place, make sure that the fucking I/O plate, which is the plate that goes into the back of the case, that lines up with all of your plugs that go into the back of the motherboard, like your USB connectors, your keyboard connector, your mouse connector, stuff like that. Make sure none of those catch that plate and bend any of the plate over to where it obstructs that particular socket from being plugged into. Sometimes that happens when you're putting a board in and you don't realize it till you go to plug in a USB cable and realize that the fucking hole is being blocked by a piece of metal that got bent over. At which point you have to take the motherboard back out and bend that piece of metal out of the way and then put the board back in and hope you don't bend it, knock it back in place again and block the fucking access to the hole.
Damn.
Once you get the board in there, then it's just a matter of installing your hard drives, installing your fucking video card if you have one, an extra one, or any other devices that you need to add to the PC that you want to put into it. Because there are sometimes most motherboards now have everything damn near on the board, but there are still some cards that you can buy, like network cards and sound cards are in particular that can be bought just as individual cards that can be added later, or in addition to what's already on the card on the board. But I remember a day back when you built computers, the computer motherboard was just a motherboard. It didn't have built-in video, it didn't have built-in sound, and you had to install sound cards and video cards, and they were actual PC cards that you had to plug into the motherboard. But nowadays, most motherboards, all that shit's built in.
Yeah, the motherboards, I'm telling you, they're expensive.
They can be, depending on how, like I said, when you're buying a motherboard, a lot of times more people buy more motherboard than they need.
Really?
Like that one that I showed you for the computer I was giving the price for you to, I might have went a little overkill on that motherboard because I'm an enthusiast and I want to overclock.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Since you're probably not going to overclock your computer, you could probably go with a little bit lower end chipset than I went with. I went with a 570 chipset. You could probably go with a 490, or I'd go at least with a 450 chipset. 450 chipsets is a basic overall general purpose chipset that's going to work for 90% of the population. But for people like me that can't leave shit alone, like to fuck with shit, I want the 570 chipset so that I can overclock and do more enthusiast type, hot rodding type shit with my computer.
Yeah, I hear you. I do.
Please leave your message for...
sounds like I lost you there.
I thought your battery died.
No, mine didn't. The call ended on your side because I wanted to call you back. It went right to voicemail.
Huh. I don't know, because I was just so yours. I got you on hold because I was trying.
Still there? I guess not. Nope, you're on hold. You got me on hold. Hey Robert, if you can hear me through the stream.
Okay, I can hear you.
All right, now I'm not on hold anymore.
But no, I'm gonna jump off here and go grab me something to eat, and I'm gonna go to bed. What time are you playing tomorrow?
Probably when I get up, whatever time that is. Maybe an hour or so after that, so I don't know yet for sure.
Okay, well, I know that we ain't gonna be on the same thing, so I'll just sit here. I'm gonna watch you ready stand.
Yeah, 'cause I'm running Talladega tomorrow afternoon sometime.
Yeah.
But I do gotta.
Just let me know. Just let me know when, and I'll get far. If you get any earlier, I'll call you. Chit chat with you before then.
Alrighty. But now you got an idea how to build a computer and how cheap it can be to build one.
I'm looking forward to doing that. Maybe I can get up. Maybe I can do mine and build one for her.
Yeah, building a computer is actually fairly easy. But one thing I would suggest doing when you buy your motherboard from the buy your motherboard and processor, whoever you buy it from, see if they offer the option to have them post test it before they ship it to you.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that they could do that.
It depends on who you buy it from. That's especially if you buy it from a local place that sells computer parts.
Right.
Like Micro Center should offer it if you got a Micro Center in area. But have them post test the system before they ship it to you. That way you know for sure the thing's going to work when you get it. Because sometimes when you buy a new computer, when you get a new processor, especially if it's a newer processor, your motherboard might need a BIOS update for that processor to work with that board. And if you need to have that done, you won't be able to do that because the processor won't work enough for the thing to do a BIOS update, and they'll have to use a different processor to do it.
Okay.
So that's why you always want to have them post test the thing and make sure the BIOS is updated before they ship it.
Yeah, because you just don't want to get it there and it not be right.
And have it not boot, because if the
And
BIOS,
right.
yeah, because if the processor is newer than the fucking motherboard, until you do the BIOS update, so that the BIOS recognizes that new processor, the system likely will not post. You'll turn it on, you'll see the fan spin up, you'll see the lights in the computer come on, but it won't do nothing else. And the reason being is the computer doesn't know what the hell to do with the processor. It sees the processor but doesn't necessarily know what the hell to do with it. It says, what the fuck is this?
Right.
And then once you get the thing put together and everything, it's just a matter of installing Windows, like Jay was showing on that video.
Okay. Yeah, because I've got a case. I can actually put the stuff in there. So.
And as long as you got a case, that's all you. As long as you got a case, you buy everything else separately.
Okay. But $1,700 is not a bad price.
Man, and that's for almost probably. That's actually for probably the most latest fucking AMD version of the AMD processor that they got. Actually, the processor's a little older than the latest and greatest. It's about a generation behind, which will save you a little bit of money. That's why that price is so low. If I went top of the line, it'd have been about another $400 or $500 more.
Okay.
But since I went one generation behind, that knocked the price down quite a bit.
Oh, absolutely.
So if you build her a
Jump
computer.
off here, grab something to eat real quick, and I'll call you tomorrow.
Okay, one quick question before you go though.
What's that?
When she uses a computer, what's she going to be using the computer for?
Just normal stuff looking around on a computer. that's really it. Nothing strenuous, nothing like I do or we do.
Yeah, she's not going to be doing any gaming or anything on it.
No.
That $1,700 price tag just dropped even further.
Really?
If all she's doing is just fucking checking her email and playing around on the internet with it
And paying bills,
and
yeah.
paying bills, you could probably build her a computer. Assuming you already have the case, you could probably build her a computer for probably about, oh shit, 150, 200 bucks,
Oh shit.
if even that much.
Okay.
All you gotta do is buy the just a basic bare bones fucking AMD processor and the bare bones motherboard to go on it. The motherboard runs about 79 or 80 bucks, and the processor's probably 120 or 130 bucks. And then $100 for a fucking SSD drive, and 50, 60 bucks worth of memory, and you're off and a keyboard and a mouse and a monitor, and you're off and going.
Okay. Well, I'll definitely look into that. And I thought it was a couple $1,000.
No, a couple $1,000. That's fucking what you got now and what I got now.
Right.
That would be gaming systems where you got a high end fucking video card for fucking doing games.
Damn, okay, I'm gonna have to look into that then. Absolutely. Like I said, I thought it. Like I said, I was around, $1,700, so I was figuring it'd be around that price, around, like you said, around 2,000. So.
Nope, only if you're building a gaming system.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And now when you're ready for a new computer for yourself, since you've already got one built and you've already got that system, you can upgrade the guts in yours for a lot cheaper than you paid for yours. Because all you need to do,
I'm hoping in a couple of years I can get this thing upgraded.
you can. All you have to do is just buy a different motherboard, different processor, and swap them out.
That easy?
It's that easy. In most cases, all you have to do is just swap out the motherboard, processor, and just turn the fucker back on. You don't even have to reinstall Windows or any of your fucking programs.
So what about the graphics card?
The graphics card, you'd have to sit there and take the graphics card off of your board you have now and just move it to the new board.
So you don't have to upgrade that either?
Not unless you have a game that requires more graphics card than you have.
No, only thing I need is what iRacing offers, right?
And for right now, if iRacing is working with the card you got, of course you're only on single monitor though too, right?
Right.
You
But
go-
I do plan on going to double monitors. Hopefully by the end of this year.
Or going to triple monitors, you mean?
Yeah.
And I think you had a 3060 fucking video card, right?
Yeah.
Oh hell, you'll be fine.
Okay.
You might have to turn the settings in iRacing down a little bit in order for it to fucking run smoothly, but you should be able to push 3 monitors from that video card with no problem. Because mine's a 3070, which is just a small step above what you got now, and mine runs
Right.
triples with no problem.
Okay.
My problem now with mine is not my video card that slows me down. Mine's my processor, because my processor's a little out of date. So I'm CPU bound on mine. I'm not graphics card bound.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
And what I got is I got a video card that's capable of drawing more frames than my processor can supply to it. So I need a more powerful CPU.
Where you run? Yeah, yours is a slow. Yours is like a real. How old is your CPU?
My CPU is 2021, I think.
Damn.
But in that $1,700 system I built with you online,
Yeah.
the CPU I picked for that system is the same one I'm running in this one.
Oh, okay. Well, there ain't much changed
Yeah, because mine's a Ryzen 5, 5500, I think, or what it is. When I first built this one, it was a Ryzen 7, 2700, I think, is what it was back then. That was 2018, and then I upgraded the processor about 2 years later, 3 years later. Because I earned an Amazon gift card from work for about $300, and I needed to find something to buy with it, so I bought a higher end processor for my computer and upgraded it.
Hey, that works.
But unfortunately, I'm in a position now where my motherboard is hitting end of life. I'm at the point where they aren't making any new processors for my socket type that my motherboard supports. So if I go with a newer CPU or upgrade CPUs, I have to upgrade motherboard too. But that's no big deal. I'm not concerned about that.
How much you think it's going to run you?
Depends on how wild I go when I decide to do it, and how much
Right.
and how much they improve processors by that time. Because when I build it, I'm going to probably go a generation or two behind what's the latest and greatest, which will drop probably about at least $150 to $200 off the price of the processor alone.
Yeah.
And since the prices of PC parts fluctuate so fucking drastically over time, it doesn't make any sense to quote out the price of a new PC until just right before you're ready to build it.
Oh God, no. I mean, I hear that.
Because I remember when I was building computers and selling them, I looked at fucking PC parts like stock. If you bought them early before you did the build, if the price did not go up and you bought them cheaper, and then the parts later go up afterwards, you save money on the build. But if you buy the parts and then they fucking get cheaper after you buy them, then you lose money.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's so true, so true.
And that's what a lot of times I ran into with, because I did initially try to buy computer parts and keep an inventory of them when I was building and selling them. I stopped doing that for two reasons. Reason number one is the price would usually drop on the parts before I was ready to build it. So I'd lose money and lose profit on that particular machine when that happened. The other reason I stopped carrying an inventory of parts is because each year I had to pay taxes on that inventory.
Yeah, and paying taxes on inventory just really sucks.
Especially if you sit on it for 2 fucking months and then you end up not being able to sell it because it's out of date.
Absolutely.
So if I had $1,000 worth of PC parts, I'd have to count basically the $1,000 inventory as if it was income.
Makes sense.
So that's why I quit fucking stocking inventory of parts and bought my parts on demand. And when I build a computer for someone, I would request that they paid up front at least enough to cover the parts that I quoted them. They had to pay at least the parts amount, and I would charge for the labor after I got the machine put together. So I'd give them 2 quotes. I'd give them the total price of everything after it was done, and then I'd give them just a parts only price. But the parts only quote they had to come up with up front, because I'd have to use the money to buy the parts to build the fucker for them.
Damn. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, seriously. I mean, pay as you go, right?
Yep. It was basically buy on, or inventory on demand. So I'd only carry inventory that was needed at the time.
You still there?
Yep, I'm still here. Can you hear me, Robert?
You still there?
Yep, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Hey.
Well, anyway, Robert, if you can still hear me on my stream, it sounds like our phone call just disconnected again, so I'll go ahead and let you go for now, so we'll talk to you tomorrow.